So as some of you have noticed, sometimes I do videos on things that aren't exactly movie related. Well, today's one of those days. As most of you know, the VMAs happened a couple days ago, and a bunch of crazy shit went down. For example, Kanye is running for president in 2020. I'm sure Kim is proud. Justin Bieber broke down and cried on stage after a performance. Nicki Minaj proved that she was a real class act by calling Miley Cyrus a bitch on live television, which could have resulted in a really interesting catfight. My money's on Nicki. Oh, did I mention that Kanye announced his run for presidency? Oh yeah, and Miley went one step further in freeing the nipple. And it is in this image that the rest of the video lies. So there's this thing called the Parents Television Council, and they are freaking out on Miley and MTV for what happened. They're quoted as saying, MTV had an opportunity to use its powerful VMA platform to stir a young audience to aspire to something positive and uplifting. Instead, they chose to perpetuate blatant sexualization, much of it self-inflicted by the artists, and to celebrate the use of illegal drugs. Now, I'm not gonna stay on this Parent Television Council thing for very long, so just bear with me. My question to the council is, when has MTV ever in the history of MTV made you think that it would stir young people to aspire to something positive and meaningful? I'm just saying, look at their content. They don't give a shit about inspiring anybody to do anything. But again, this video is not about the Parents Television Council. They're just doing their job at the end of the day. What this video is actually about are the parents. If you believe your child to be so impressionable that they might watch an award show hosted by Miley Cyrus, and then afterwards become cocaine-fueled sex addicts, you probably shouldn't let your children watch it. I mean, time and time again, you have seen what Miley is willing to do to raise an eyebrow. So why would you let your very impressionable youth watch this shit in the first place? And it is shit, by the way. If you think for a second that any part of this show wasn't planned, you are crazy. I've worked award shows, and so much rehearsal goes into making sure that every beat gets hit so that they can fool you into thinking it was all done live on the spot for the first time. Keep in mind, I'm not talking to the parents who do trust their children into watching an award show and not becoming cocaine-fueled sex addicts. My dad was one of those parents who would allow me to watch what I wanted to watch, and he trusted that I would not become an insane asshole. This video is specifically addressed to the parents who were appalled by what Miley Cyrus did the other night, and people who say things like,
I don't want my children watching these graphic images depicting sex and drug use.
Okay, great. Use the parental controls on your TV then.
But Kyler, what about the internet?
Use a net nanny.
But Kyler, what about smartphones?
Why did you buy your child a portable computer with unlimited access to the outside world if you were so interested in what they were watching?
But Kyler, we live in a society where you have to have a phone now.
Then buy them a flip phone. But I tell you what, your point's smartphone, fine. Let's attack the smartphone. They have the same kinds of parental controls on smartphones that they have on TVs and internet.
But Kyler, what if they go to a friend's house?
Then call the parents and let them know what you do and do not approve of. Or better yet, if you feel the need to strangle your child so much, don't let them go.
But Kyler, if a child really wants to work around all your solutions, they will.
That's like saying if a thief wants to break into your house, he's gonna break into your house, so why lock the door? If you sound like one of those voices that I just depicted, then you are one of two things. You are either too overprotective of your child, or you're too lazy. And you know, the really funny thing about this is these are the same kind of parents who will let their children play hyper-violent games like Call of Duty. It's okay for blowing someone's head off just as long as you don't see any boobs. If you are a parent out there, I urge you to do one thing, and I really do think that this one thing will help the world. Talk to your children. If they see something that you deem inappropriate, be an adult and talk to them about it. Explain to them why it's inappropriate, and then trust that your child will make the right decision after that. You can't keep hoping that society bends to your will. All that said, clearly Miley and MTV violated several FCC regulations and they will be fined accordingly, so sleep well knowing that. But next time, if you see that an award show is being hosted by Miley Cyrus, maybe you don't let your kid watch it, because I assure you, she is going to do it again. Anyways, I'm Kyler Wilson, and those are some of my thoughts. Deuces.